What's up, YouTube? In this video I'm going to be changing the rear brake on a Hyundai Sonata, and if you look, pretty sure you could see where it's pretty much metal to metal. My brake pads are like shot, so they're actually, it's just the backing plate that's touching the rotor. That's why you see this gouge right here. And of course, Hyundai could not make this a simple process. I'm gonna have to go through a few extra steps just to get the rotor off. Now, before I go any further, I just want to say thanks to all my subscribers, all my supporters. I remember when I first started my channel, maybe my first 5 subscribers, I was thinking, no way I'm gonna get to 100. Now my channel's at 2,000 subscribers. You guys still keep subscribing. Thank you. I figure when I get to 5,000, I'll do a special giveaway. I'm not sure what I'm going to give away yet, but it's going to be either something from the mechanical line or from my new venture, which is mobile detailing. So I'll put together a package, and once I get to 5,000 subscribers, then I'll choose someone at random and I'll have a giveaway. Okay, so first things first, I gotta remove the caliper, and it's this bolt right here. It's one up top and another one right here at the bottom. Once I take these out, the caliper comes off, then I'm left with the bracket. Now these two bolts are 14 mil, so I grab my 14 mil. They're not torqued super tight, so shouldn't need a lot of force to take them off. Once that's off, just pop the caliper off, and I'm going to check the caliper to see if maybe it's seizing. The opposite side is fine, so you can see this is bare metal. And I know I may get asked a question as to why wait till it got that low. Well, it's been freezing, it's been snowing, so I really did not have the time to like come out and work on it. Plus I have stuff in the garage, so I couldn't take them out just to change the brakes. And you always want to make sure your slide pins, the boots, are not broken, and they slide nice and easy. I'm gonna try to get the best shots that I can. It's kind of cold out here today, so I'm trying to rush through this. And I gotta take the shock bolt out, and that's the lower bolt for the shocks. So I gotta take this nut off and push the bolt out towards the back of the vehicle. Then I have to remove this arm. I have to take this bolt out, and the reason why the shock has to be moved is because once I take this nut off and I try to push the bolt out, it's gonna hit the shock, so the shock has to slide out of the way. So I just have to take the shock bolt, you can see it at the bottom here, take that out, move the shock out of the way, and then take this one out. And both bolts are 19 mil, so I have a box end. I'm going to use that to hold the head of the bolt. The opposite side for the nut, take that off. So that's off, and I do the same thing for this one. Go in with my 19. Take that washer off also. And that's the shock bolt. So I'm just gonna use a hammer, tap it on the other side and push it out. Just be careful of the ABS wire. Comes right out, and this is where I tapped it from, and you can see the wire right here, so just be careful of that. And also I just put another jack just to hold the arm up, so I could get the bolt out a little bit easier. Now this is where the fun starts. So the lower bolt is out for the shock. Now all I gotta do is push it, and that's it. That's the clearance I need. And now I do the same with this upper bolt. Bang that out. And I'm going to use a punch. And this bolt is longer than the shock bolt, so once you take both out, you just know the longer one goes up top. Now all I need is just a little bit of room, so we're not going to separate this completely. So here we go, just going to push on that just a little bit. You see it's still in there, but that should be all the room that I need. Here we go again, 14 mil, and that little separation just gives me enough room to get my tool in. And I'm going to sit it on the bolt. That's it, it's on the bolt. And from here it's just to slowly take it off. Now what you want to do, you don't want to take it so far out that you're not going to be able to get your tool out. Otherwise you're going to have to put it back in or take the arm out completely. So now let me do the top one. See the bracket moving. From here I'll just get my fingers in there and I'll take it out the rest of the way. Now once this is backed out, then the bracket comes right off the bolt. It stays in there, it does not come out. Once I put the bracket back on, the bolt just goes right in and screw in. And that's what everything looks like off. All the bolts out, the shock push back, create enough space for this top bolt to come out this way. The lower bolt for the bracket, the upper bolt right here, and everything is off. So now I just have to take these two screws out and I'd be able to pop the rotor off. Now before taking these screws out to pop the rotor off, make sure the e-brake is not engaged. It's the big one, I think it's number 3 or something like that. And if these screws are tight, you could actually spray them down with some kind of rust penetrant and use an impact screwdriver to get it off, or put a screwdriver bit on an impact wrench and that'll get it off. And if they happen to break, most times it's just the head of the screw, like right here, that snaps off. So if it breaks, you could still take it off. And you really don't have to put them back on. I put them back on, but you don't have to do that. The wheel actually holds the rotor in place anyway. From here it's just to pull it off, and that's it. And the inner portion of the rotor is no lip, so that's good. Means that my e-brakes are not binding. So now it's just to put my new rotor on, mount the hardware back together, and put my new brakes on. Now for the rotor, I just sprayed some brake clean on the surface, cleaned it up, and you could see from taking it off previously to inspect it, I put some anti-seize on it. So I'm just going to leave that, make sure the holes line up, like I said, I put the screws back, but you really don't have to. Not tight, just snug them up. They're really just there to hold the rotor in place, that's it. That's that. And I'll just pretty much use a wire brush just to clean up the surface. So I just brush the surface off. I'm just going to catch the top bolt just to kind of hold it in place. It's going to serve as a third set of hands. That's it, just want to hold it. And now from here, get this one back in. And you could actually get an open end in there and try to use an open end. It's gonna take forever, but it'll work. So I'm using a regular ratcheting box end versus this style. So I'm able to get in there. Now I could use this angled one. This gets in there and I'm able to apply good torque with this. And these just have to get snug. You don't have to go crazy over torquing them. It's good. Got the hardware. Set it on, snap it in. Same thing for the top. Now what I do after I do this, I spin the rotor just to see if anything is touching. Sometimes these scrape. You can hear it. So when that happens, I make sure it's sitting flush and flat. And then I go in with a flat head right here. And I just kind of twist it. This is usually where it makes the noise. See, no more noise. And I'll just put a little bit of brake lube on it. I live up north, so we have some harsh winters. Before I put the caliper back on, I'm actually gonna line this back up. And one way to do that is get a screwdriver, stick in the hole, kind of pry it back into place. And remember, it's the long bolt. You may have to play around with it just to get it right, but if you were to take this arm out completely, you would never get it back in. It's gonna be such a pain getting it back in. Now one trick I kind of figured out in the past is to get a vice grip. Once I lock it in, I'm able to kind of twist the arm a little bit and maneuver it so I could get the bolt in. I may not get that on camera because the camera is actually in my way right now, so I got to move it so I could do that. And I got it. Actually, I should have just left the camera on. It took me no more than 20 seconds to do it. I just had to push the vice grip to twist the arm this way, and the bolt went right in. The washer. Now I could take my vice grip off. Could put my shocks back in. Get my washer. Got my nut. I can use my brake tool and one of the oil pads. Compress this piston. I think my caliper might be a problem. It's going in, but in the beginning it felt kind of tight. Normally the way it's done, you take one of your old pad, not the new one, you take the old pad and you put the old pad on the piston, and then you take your compression tool, adjust it, and you lay it like that. So then as you tighten it, it pushes it in. When you tighten it, this screw goes in, push the piston in, while this backing plate gives it enough tension to be able to push it in. And we're just snugging it up, that's it. Not going crazy over tightening it. Now I just gotta put the wheel back on, pop the hood, check the level of the brake fluid, and make sure everything is good. Take it for a test run, and should be good after that. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.